We want to welcome you all to the 25th anniversary of the Chinmaya mission, where we are hosting our 9 nights yagna here in Dow Village, which we are accustomed to, and this is a continuation of the yagna. At this point in time, we want to call on the President, the Vice President, and the Treasurer to light symbolic diya.
Om Akanda Mandalakaram Dhyatam Yena Characharam Tatparam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Ajnana Nividanasya Jnanamukasaraya Chakshuram Nivitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Guru Deva Deva Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.
So my task here tonight is a very simple one. And we are very overwhelmed by the Chinmaya mission. In this 25 years is such a long time, but it seems like just yesterday we were running with the tents from street to street, and we might have to continue to run with the tents tonight. And we are very proud to be associated with the Chinmaya mission. They have made great strides with the opening of the secondary school recently, and we'll talk more about that. But again, my task is a very simple one, to introduce the person who would be taking you through the proceedings. I want to introduce somebody who we have known for a number of years, a very simple, down-to-earth person. I recall when we had the first yagna, and he came in a few minutes late and Swami started. He was sitting outside in the concrete, and we had to beg him to come in because he didn't want to disrupt the yagna. But my task tonight really is to introduce the President of the Chinmaya mission, Mr. Ruplal Rambihari, to take you through the proceedings. And before we do so, we'll have Ms. Kamini Rampasad to galan him. So, Kamini Rampasad Sirju, sorry. A lot of names. So, Mr. Bihari.
Bhati na chanda tarakam nema vidyoto bhati kutuya namihi tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvam idam vibhati.
Hari Om
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.
Hari Om, I'm really humbled. It's good to hear a familiar voice tonight, Andrew speaking. It was way back when he did quite a lot for the mission here. Swamiji, Panditji, Pandita, the young people who are singing tonight, members of the mission. I see Mrs. Ramkilawan there as well. And all you good people from California. I see Roy in the back there, which brings a lot of memories. All those of California, friends of the mission, and supporters, past and present. We are having this yagna tonight in a home where I remember Kashi, a very ardent supporter of the mission. She's no longer with us, and so too quite a few people not with us today. But we are fortunate to be here in California. The nucleus of the Chinmaya mission. Many of you don't know that the mission was born in Dow Village in California. The headquarters was registered a few homes here, far away from here, at Swamiji's parents' home. So we started there in 1997. I see many familiar faces, many young people following the mission. I compliment you as well for supporting the mission, and all of you of California. I want to tell you something, but I don't want Swamiji to listen. Do you know that when Swamiji came to California as Brahmachari Prem, he was not thinking to carry on this mission. He was not thinking about Chinmaya mission in Trinidad and Tobago. He just came on a visit to go back to India. But you people of California captured his heart. Your support and your togetherness and all that you have done in California changed his mind, and he decided to stay in Trinidad and form the Chinmaya mission. So I want to congratulate the people of California for doing a wonderful job. And tonight, too, is testimony of that. Organizing back then, more than 20 years ago, this 9 nights yagna. And it brings a lot of memories, moving about and coming nightly to yagna, this Navratri yagna at California. And whoever are the organizers, and I'm sure members of the Chinmaya mission, I want to compliment you on this as well. The Chinmaya mission has grown from strength to strength because of all the members supporting the mission. Not only your generosity and support and goodwill and manual labor as well. As I say, labor, I want to recognize Roy for that. I admired him, he and Uncle Evans, who is no longer with us. Day in and day out, they have been behind the mission. And all the Ammas here as well, that who supported the mission from time to time. The young people may not know about the mission as much as the grown-ups who were in the mission, from little teenagers and children as well. Mala, Anita, Anna, and a few others. I remember they coming early morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, to do chanting right here, and with a few others. And I think this inspired Swamiji to take the mission further. When we see the little ones following, so too the elders were very supportive of the mission. You know, California, so I understand, all the streets here were lit up for Diwali. Am I correct, those of you?
Yeah.
Is that so? In the days gone by. And that was the togetherness of the people of Dow Village until some hooligans start tampering with the light ups, and that went. All the lights went. And then Brahmachari Prem came, and he brought light as Swami Prakashananda. And this light is being lit up to today. So I want to thank you all. Thanks Swamiji for taking us along these 25 years as we celebrate the 25th year of the mission. And it's all because of you all, your goodwill and your spirituality as it grows along. Keep the mission at the helm. Hari Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Mangal Bhavan Mangal Hari.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Drava Usvadasrath Ajir Bihari.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Raghukul Riti Sada Chali Aayi.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Pran Jai Varu Vachan N Jai.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Binu Satsang Vivek na hoi.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Ram Kripa Vinu Sulav na soi.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Tumro mantra vibhishan mana.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Lankeshwar bhai sab jag jana.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram,
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Vakratunda Mahakala. नमस्कार सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा समस्त जन कल्याण निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः जयन्ति मंगला काली भद्रकाली कपालिनी दुर्गा क्षमा शिवा धात्री स्वदा स्वाहा नमोस्तुते हरि ओम। तेरे सिर पर सीताराम घर फिर क्या करना तेरे सिर पर सीताराम तेरे सिर पर सीताराम तेरे सिर पर सीताराम घर फिर क्या करना तेरे सिर पर सीताराम क्या करना कर फिर क्या करना क्या करना तेरे सिर पर सीताराम कर फिर क्या करना कर फिर क्या करना क्या करना क्या करना कर फिर क्या करना क्या करना क्या करना तेरे पर सीताराम घर फिर क्या करना तेरे
सर पर सीताराम घर फिर क्या करना
तेरे सिर पर सीताराम घर फिर क्या करना
सिर पर सीताराम घर फिर क्या करना
क्या करना क्या करना घर फिर क्या करना क्या करना
क्या करना
घर फिर क्या करना तेरे सिर पर सीताराम घर फिर क्या करना क्या करना क्या करना घर फिर क्या करना क्या करना
क्या करना
घर फिर क्या करना तेरे सिर पर सीताराम घर फिर क्या करना
सिर पर सीताराम घर फिर क्या करना
घर फिर क्या करना
घर फिर क्या करना
घर फिर क्या करना
घर फिर क्या करना।
Let me welcome all of you to this resumption of a well-intended and soundly established tradition many years ago, we came up with this idea for Navratri because this blessed village has 9 streets. From here to the end there are 9 streets. And Navratam is 9 nights. So Andrew came up with a most wonderful idea. Why don't we have the yagna from street to street? And he and Roy and a whole bunch of them put up the tent there, and when we finish the first night, all of them lift up the tent like this and took it to the next street. And like that every night. That was a roving yagna, going from street to street. And so many people joined in, and it came out really wonderfully. And it went on for many, many years until things became a little hectic. And when we started thinking about resuming, COVID struck. So COVID set me back a few years also. But here we are, alive, after COVID. And as our beloved Bihariji said, good to see so many faces who were there back then and have come to resume this wonderful tradition. And let us see, we will try now our utmost to have it continued as we did in the beginning. All right, so that is about the yagna. 25 years of Chinmaya mission in Trinidad. 1997, Bihariji said, we started off right here with a little space which is still occupied. And it has come a long way. And I want to tell you also, in that 25 years, our president, our vice president, and our treasurer are the same people 25 years later. Meaning to say, the mission has not changed its executive. Same executive then and same executive now. And that is actually a very good thing, because in Chinmaya mission, that thing about vying for power, that thing is not there. Our vice president, our president, and our treasurer, they have told me many, many times, Swamiji, if you find anybody who wants this position, they are ready to vacate. But I told no. In Chinmaya mission, the philosophy is, you stop when you drop. That's how our Gurudev used to work. We stop when we drop. Means we have to drop down, then only we stop. So we keep on going. And a few days back, we celebrated our Republic Day in Trinidad. And on that day, I sent out a message. And this is the message of Chinmaya mission. The message is, we are here to serve the public. Chinmaya mission was founded to serve the public. Our mukti lies in serving humanity. Humanity, the public. What happens is, when we are born and we grow like that, we become selfish human beings. So we are only thinking about my house, my land, my car, my children, my bank account, my money, my. We become selfish human beings. But to live out that selfishness, to go beyond that selfishness, and to think about others, is really republic. Recommit to the public. And Chinmaya mission was founded to serve the public, to serve humanity, to serve the world. And that is exactly what our executive has been doing. Nobody in this mission gets any salary. Andrew has served this community for so many years. He doesn't get a salary. That is the embodiment of the philosophy of the mission, serving the public, serving humanity, serving others, you see. But Vishram is sitting in front of you. How many years he's been working for public, working for the humanity, you see. So this is what the mission is about, and good to see so many people who were there 25 years ago doing that, still doing the same today. All right. So this is about our 25th anniversary and the aim of the mission and on all of that. And of course, thanks is in the making. Thanks is actually important. So thanks to all the people who have made this journey of 25 years a reality, made it smooth and made it so well. And Bihariji mentioned also about the youngsters who were there then. Now they are not youngsters anymore. And he called several names. They are here tonight, many of them. And it is good to see that they have now come here and they have taken over the arrangement and the organization of this yagna, ably guided by the senior ones. I have to choose my words properly. I have to be politically correct also. By the seniors. So the juniors are now taken over and the seniors are ably guiding. So that is wonderful. And of course there are people like Andrew who stand in between the two. Juniors and seniors. All right. So delighted to be back here in California. Not California. California. In Trinidad. And we hope that this will continue in our in the spirit in which it was started. All right. Now, next step, our Navratri Yajna. 9 nights. Now means 9, and Ratri means night. So 9 nights. 9 nights about what? 9 nights where we celebrate or we worship these 3 forms of the Devi: Durga, Lakshmi and Saraswati, in that order also. The first 3 nights dedicated to Durga Ma, the next 3 nights to Lakshmi Ma, and last 3 nights to Saraswati Ma. 9 nights. And on the 10th night there is something called as Dashami, which is a big thing also. Vijaya Dashami actually it is called. So I will tell about that as we go along. So now Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati, and why it is organized like this, why it is arranged in this way. This is a very, very important thing. It is all in line with all of us mastering our mind. Mastering the mind. Please pay attention to this, and this is the important message. Because the human being is very inefficient in dealing with his mind. Instead of he masters the mind and he controls the mind controls him. This is the problem with human beings. We are controlled by our mind. And so anything the mind says, I want ice cream, you say yeah. I want pizza, yeah. I want Pepsi, yeah, man. And it could get harder than that also, you know. But the mind says and we say, yeah. So in other words, he cannot control that mind. Then mind controls him. Instead of he being the master of his mind, the mind is the master of him. So any feeling, any emotion, any desire, anything that pops up in the mind, the fellow gets carried away by that thing. The human being gets carried away by that thing. So this Navratri is dedicated to the 3 forms of the Devi. Remember, Devi is only one. The divine Shakti is only one. But the divine Shakti manifests in these 3 forms. So that divine Shakti, it means divine power, manifest in these three forms, and we worship the three forms in this order because it is a journey we are making in order to conquer our mind. And you will notice when you see a picture of Durga Maya, right? You will see she has all these weapons, and yes, and she rides on a tiger, sometimes a lion. She's fierce, and sometimes, instills fear in our heart. Sometimes you will see her wearing a mala made of skulls. So you see some terrific things when you see Durga Maya. And that is because she represents that aspect of the divine power which all of us have, but which we have not, in Trinidad language, jagawe. This is Trinidad Pakka Bhojpuri. We have not awakened. And that is the power to destroy negative tendencies in our heart. So that's what I was just telling you. See, when the desire arises in the mind, the desire is for something which is not good. Desire is for something which is adharma, which is unrighteous, which is unhealthy, which is illegal, which is so many things. But that desire arises, and we don't have the power, we have not awakened the power to destroy that desire. We can't destroy it. The desire destroys me. So Durga Shakti is that power which is there in all of us, which we all have to awaken, so that when some negative tendency arises in the mind, we are able to remove it, to eradicate it. Then, only when we are able to eradicate this negative tendency, then we are on the path to conquering the mind. We have achieved the first step. Now, you see, some people, when they have some bad habit, right? You tell, okay, now we will send you to this, what they call? Rehabilitation center. He has some addiction. We'll send him for rehabilitation. You'll put him there in some heal house or something, and they'll heal him. And then there are some people in the world who don't need any heal house. He has some negative tendency, some bad habit. He tells himself, by himself, from today, I finish this thing. He doesn't need. I've known many people who stop drinking just like that. Isn't it? You don't have to send him to AA. What is that? AA. He only go there and say AA and come back. You don't have to send him there. But some people you have to send there. You see? Because he doesn't have the capacity to eradicate that thing. Yeah. So those who have awakened that power inside, he can eradicate that bad habit like that, negative tendency. Then, in order to eradicate, that person has to collect some wealth. And we call it wealth of what? Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti. He has to develop some good traits to eradicate those bad traits. So Lakshmi, you all should not think Lakshmi merely represent money. This money which everybody only think about Lakshmi and money. In our Sanatana Dharma, all the good traits and good qualities, that they call as Sampatti. Shama, Dhamma, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Ityadi, faith and control of the senses and all. When we develop some of that, that is Lakshmi, that is the correct wealth. Real wealth is all the good qualities that we can imbibe and remove all the bad qualities. So removing, then we collect wealth and we imbibe all the good qualities. Those good qualities which we imbibe, those are called real wealth, that is Lakshmi. And finally, we need knowledge. That is why we worship the goddess Saraswati. We need knowledge about who I am. What is my purpose here? What is my true nature? All of that sort of thing. We need that knowledge. And goddess Saraswati is worshipped in the last 3 nights. When we get that knowledge, we are able to eradicate every problem caused by the mind. That is when we have final victory over the mind. So we need it in this order. We need to have the power to eradicate some of the negative tendencies. We need knowledge, wealth of knowledge, wealth of good qualities to help eradicate. And then we need knowledge to know who I am. When this is acquired, we remove the problem-causing mind. That is the idea. That which causes problem in the mind, we remove that. And that is called conquering of the mind. Once that is conquered, our journey is over. Then we become a Buddha. We become a Ram Krishna Paramahamsa. We become a Swami Vivekananda. When we have conquered that mind. So this is our journey. And this is why the 3 forms of the Devi are worshipped in this Navratri time. Okay. The last night is called as Vijaya Dashami because that is when I have complete victory. And it's victory not over that political party or victory over that one in court or victory over that something outside. That is victory over my own mind. The 10th night is called as Vijaya Dashami, 10th night victory. Then that is true victory. Otherwise conquering, and we could conquer anything in this world, you know. We conquered COVID. But then what it did? What it did? Nothing. Something worse than COVID could come just now. Isn't it? When that comes, you don't know what will happen. Like the world has seen black plague and all kind of different colors, Spanish plague and different. And this is some Portuguese plague come, you don't know what will happen. So you could conquer many things outside, but conquering the mind is real conquering. Yeah. Alright. Now this is about today's first night, so I'm telling about this Vijaya Dashami and this Navratri and all that kind of thing, because this is a celebration time for that. But in this yagna, we decided that we will take something a little different. And that is called as Dhanya. Dhanya. In the end of Ramcharitmanas, Ramayana, in the end of this Ramcharitmanas, Bhagwan Shiva is telling Parvati ji that this Ramayana I have told to you because you asked me some questions. And I answered all of these questions. I know the Ramayana is coming to an end. But I tell you, the one who listens to this Ramayana, the person who listens to this Ramayana, he is the most blessed, most fortunate. That's how Lord Shiva ends this Ramayana, the one who listens to this Ramayana. And recently we listened to the whole thing, 108 nights. But Lord Shiva is telling to Parvati ji, the one who listens, he is called as Dhanya. So what he does is, he lists 9 times he uses the word Dhanya. 9 times Dhanya. He says, what is the meaning of the word Dhanya? Dhanya means blessed. Dhanya means fortunate. Dhanya means he who is most lucky, most blessed, like that. Huh? So, this 9 Dhanya which he uses at the end, we are going to take for these 9 nights. Now it's only like quarter of a chaupai for 1 Dhanya. So 9 quarters. 9 chaupais, a quarter of chaupais. So just like about 4 chaupais. We'll see in the whole 9 nights. So if you have your Ramayana, this is after 126 in Uttar Kaand. 126. So I will just now chant these few verses, and then we will start with the first Dhanya. Alright. Chattu satsang, listen to this one. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram,
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram,
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram,
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Dhanya des so jahan sur sari, dhanya nari pativrata anusari.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
धन्य सो भूप नीति जो करई, धन्य सो द्विज निज धर्म न टरई.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
सो धन धन्य प्रथम गति जाति, धन्य पुण्य मति सोई थाकी.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
धन्य घरी सोई जब सत्संगा, धन्य जन्म द्विज भगति अभंगा.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
सो कुल धन्य उमा सुनी, जगत पुण्य सुपुनीत. श्री रघुवीर परायण, जहि नर उपज विनीत.
सियावर रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम सीतारामा, सियावर रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम सीतारामा, सियावर रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम सीताराम.
श्यावर रामचंद्र की जय. Dhanya, when somebody is lucky, fortunate, blessed, when somebody is really endowed with all great things, we say that person is Dhanya. So you should start using the word Dhanya and not Bandhanya, you know. Dhanya. So, when somebody is really fortunate or blessed, like that. And if it is feminine, Dhanya. That people name their children Dhanya actually. I know some Dhanya. Alright. So now, Bhagwan Shiva tells to Parvati ji, this Dhanya word he uses 9 times. So first, which is the first Dhanya? He says, Dhanya des so jahas surasari. This is the first Dhanya. That country, Desh, is Dhanya, in which Ganga flows. And you all know filmy songs like that. Some filmy song is there like that also. What is that? Yeah. Jis desh mein Ganga behti hai. Yes. So, it is amazing how, let me tell you a story. The person who used to organize my yagna way back in the old days in Guyana, one day I told him, I said, "Are, bhai, I am coming to Guyana all the time. Why don't you come to Trinidad and visit at least once?" He said, "Take care, Swamiji, I'll come." So he came. So I went to the airport to pick him up. And while coming back, we reached Caroni River. I tell him, I said, "Look, this is the biggest river in Trinidad." But that man laughed at me so much. After that, anytime I pick up any Guyanese person, I'm not telling them this is the biggest river in Trinidad. Because Guyana has such big rivers, you could fit Trinidad inside here. When I tell him there's a river, he says, "Man, there's a drain." Yeah. He says, "If a dog chase me, I jump over that thing." But in this part of the world, if you really think, now see, when we see a river or any such thing, there is no such reverence or there is no such divinity that comes in our mind. What it takes from a civilization, from a people, from a tradition, to infuse such divinity in a river, such that the river has been elevated to the status of a goddess. You just imagine the gravity of such a civilization. When I first landed in Rishikesh, there's a real story here. I first landed in Rishikesh about this hour in the night. Place dark, like. And I see a sadhu walking with a kamandal. And the river was flowing. And I asked the sadhu in Hindi, "Baba, ye kaun si nadi hai? Which river is this?" You know what that sadhu's reply was? "Are bhai sahab, ye to nadi nahi hai. This is not a river. Ye sakshat Bhagwati Devi hai. This is incarnation of the goddess herself." See what a civilization can teach to its future generations, such that a river is seen as a goddess. You think about the weight of that civilization, the power and gravity of that civilization, the magnanimity and magnitude of that civilization. So when we see Tulsidas ji, he tells in the beginning of this Ramayana about Ganga. And Lord Shiva is telling at the end, Tulsidas ji tells in the beginning, what exactly is Ganga? Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
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 Ram Bhagati Jah Sur Saridhara.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Karai Brahma Vichar Prachara.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Ram Bhagati Jah Sur Saridhara.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Bhagavan Ramachandra ki
Jai.
Ram Bhagati Jahas Surasari Dhara. He's talking about Ganga in Prayag. And he calls Ganga Ram Bhakti. Now I want to tell you a most wonderful thing in the tradition. Ganga, now see, let us go back to our Dhanya and then we'll come back. Dhanya. Dhanya hai Des. That country is blessed where there is Ganga. Dhanya Des so Jahas Surasari. Blessed is that country where Ganga is flowing. We say our country is not blessed because no Ganga here. We have Ganga also. We have Ganga Dhara, isn't it? But it is much more than that. Eh? It is much more than a river. It is all of these things. Now I will tell you. Ganga represents Bhakti, Ganga represents Gyan, Ganga represents sacrifice. All three. Depending on which part of the tradition you belong to. Ganga represents all three of them. Now, blessed is that country that has Bhakti, blessed is that country that has Gyan, and blessed is that country that has sacrifice. And the country that is lacking any one of these, not Dhanya, not blessed, not fortunate, not lucky. That country is deficient in so many ways. And so if there's a deficiency, we always try to make up for the deficiency, isn't it? If something is lacking, something is missing, we have to fill it in. In other words, if our country doesn't have Bhakti, our country doesn't have Gyan, and doesn't have sacrifice, we are the ones to make it happen, yes. Actually, every day everybody is only thinking about who will do it. We are always looking, this one will do it. We are waiting for somebody else to do it. You know, in exchange by the traffic light there's one big pothole in the road. Every day you pass, somebody had to pull out somebody from that pothole. The hole is so big that when the cars go down inside there, somebody had to come and pull them out. And everybody thinking, who will fix it? Nobody ready to fix it. The authorities who's supposed to fix it, well, all of them handicapped somehow. And then everybody else who say, look like one of these days the Swami got to go and fix it. But anyway, see, nobody is ready to make any sacrifice. Nobody has any devotion or love for the country to do something. So sacrifice is not there, bhakti is not there. Because Desha Bhakti is one of the greatest bhakti, you know. Bhakti for our Desh, country, one of the greatest bhakti. And of course, and Gyan is not there because if Gyan was there, the others would have followed. If knowledge is there, the others would follow. But blessed is that country where Ganga flows, where there is bhakti, Gyan and sacrifice. And you see, what exactly is this bhakti, Gyan and sacrifice? Now we will see a little bit. You all may not have seen, but Ganga starts way in Himalayas. Way in Himalayas, and it's coming, Ganga is flowing south and then southeast, like that, coming and going all the way to the Bay of Bengal. And Ganga has to wind and turn and crash into rocks and all of that. And wherever she comes, all the way, she's serving communities with irrigation and livelihood, and people fish in Ganga, also then tourism, what you call, all people go for a dip, all people go to erase their sins, all. She's coming, but she's serving people from Gomukh all the way to the Bay of Bengal. That is sacrifice or not? to crash into rocks and to go through all of the hardship and to continuously go to serve all of humanity from there to thousands of kilometers, serving humanity. There is sacrifice. So, how she comes there, that also is a big sacrifice. How she starts in Gomukh, big sacrifice. Actually, the most powerful thing about Ganga is sacrifice. Living, working, existing for the benefit of others. She is called as Surasari. Surasari. Tulsidaji said, the name is there in the verse which you just chanted. See it again. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Dhanya se so jah surasari.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Dhanya nari pati vrata anusari.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Dhanya des so jah surasari.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Surasari. Surasari means flowing from Sura, from God. So that is why she is given that name, Surasari. Several names are there for Ganga. Many names you have heard already. Devi Sureshwari Bhagavati Gange. Tribhuvana Tarini Taralata Range. If you chant this Ganga Stotam, you hear so many names of Ganga. One of her name is called as Bhagirathi. Bhagirathi. Why Bhagirathi? Because Bhagiratha was a great Raja who brought down Ganga from these higher regions. And when she came down to this earth, she came with such a force that everybody thought the earth is going to be destroyed. Then Lord Shiva caught her in his jata. And from his tresses like that, he allowed her to flow just softly and nicely. Otherwise, she's so powerful, the whole earth would have been destroyed. And why she came at the behest of Bhagiratha? Because Bhagiratha had done such sacrifice that she was moved. She was moved by the sacrifice of Bhagiratha. And she came to wash the ashes of his ancestors. And then they also... So she sacrificed her divine existence in a divine plane to come here. Then Lord Shiva sacrificed to catch Ganga, Surasari. Then he allowed to flow. If she did not make the sacrifice, we would not have the blessing of Ganga on earth. Then if Lord Shiva did not sacrifice, we would not have had earth also. It would have been destroyed. So it's a whole story of all sacrifice. If Bhagiratha had not done sacrifice, Ganga would not have come. So she sacrificed her. Bhagiratha did big sacrifice to get her. She sacrificed her divine plane, came here. Lord Shiva sacrificed his time and energy and everything to collect her. And then she flowed, sacrificing her peace. Kept flowing constantly to serve the whole of humanity. It's all a story of Sacrifice, actually. If we don't learn from this, sacrificing for others. I told you, na, the earth has become too selfish. Everybody only thinks of himself. But this whole story is thinking about others. Bhagiratha is thinking about his ancestors. No, there's no Pitripaksh, you just get over, you know. We are supposed to also think about our ancestors. Bhagiratha was thinking of his ancestors. Ganga Maya was thinking of Bhagiratha. Lord Shiva was thinking about Prithvi, earth, Bhumi. Then after Ganga came also, she's thinking about the welfare of all of humanity. She's flowing to serve everybody. All only about sacrifice. And Surasari word is there because she flows out from the toe of Bhagwan Vishnu. She flows out from his big toe. And this is why she is Bhakti and Gyan. Her life is a life of sacrifice. But why she is Bhakti and Gyan? Because Bhagwan's head and heart mixed together and flowed down to his toe. Head and heart mixed and flowed down to his toe in the form of Ganga. She comes out from his toe. What all the tradition teach, how the tradition teaches all of these things, and how much of thought, how much of vichar is required for all of this. That is why we sit at the feet of Guru, because Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara. Guru is Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. Because the Guru is all three of them in one, we sit at the feet of the Guru because Bhagwan's head and heart mixed together flows from his toe. And if the Guru is all Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh in one, where the Guru's head and heart will flow? Toe only, in his feet only, isn't it? So we sit at the feet of the Guru, so we'll get a good mixture of devotion and knowledge from the Guru. We don't want only one. We want both. Therefore, we don't sit up. We sit down, because that is where both head and heart are mixed and are flowing out in a most wonderful blend of knowledge and bhakti. Here also, she's flowing out from his toe, and therefore when she comes down, we say it is the flow, symbolically, the flow of knowledge from Guru to Shishya, the flow of knowledge, and also that flow of bhakti coming down. A nice mixture of the two for all of us to partake in. So, if you belong to the Gyan tradition, it is Ganga flowing in the form of knowledge. If you belong to the Bhakti tradition, it is Ganga flowing in the form of bhakti. And now Tulsidas ji says that bhakti is which bhakti? Rama Bhagati. That is devotion to Ram. That is Ganga. So, we belong to this tradition that holds Ganga as the mixture of the head and heart of Bhagwan flowing out from his toe and coming down here as Ganga. Head and heart means when she flowed out from his toe, she did not come. She still stayed there only. It is Bhagiratha who went and brought her. She was happy. But if you flow out from the toe of Bhagwan and you flow right around Bhagwan only, you stay there. But Bhagiratha went there and did that sacrifice and brought her down. So all of the names now come together. Why she is called Surasari? She is flowing. Sar in Sanskrit means to move, to flow. Sar, like that. So Surasari, she is flowing out from Sura, from Bhagwan. So she is called as Surasari. And since she is the mixture, let me tell you something. When you go to Debe, right? And you buy some of those delicacies on the side of the road. If you like plenty pepper, you tell them heavy. If you like little pepper, you tell them light. Right? And if you like no pepper, you say without. And some people have medium also. Really speaking, that thing will be mixed with several ingredients. But you are only tasting the pepper which you tell them to put, isn't it? The dressing is very important to you. Because if you like heavy pepper and they give you one with no pepper, then that will taste bland, isn't it? You feel like you didn't eat anything. When you like plenty pepper, you tell them put heavy, and when you taste that, really speaking, you only taste in pepper. And if you taste it without that pepper, you eat that thing bland, like you didn't eat anything. Now you just think, this is how human psychology works. That thing have flour and chana and bandanya and all sorts of things, but you like pepper. So when you taste, that is the most important thing for you, isn't it? That is the most important. Though you are eating all the other things, the most important, because if no pepper was there, where you give me, man? This thing tastes less. Yeah.
The night ago, I had been asked to announce the death of Philip the Bird program. He was a chef and Stephen Yajna program and former Catholic area. He was the brother of Polo, Ben, Chuck, Ben, George, Little, and Randy. He was the husband of Peter Philip program. He was the father of Swami, Bhakti, Bhakti, Ganga, Chinmaya, and Gyan.
Devi Bhavani Ma, Devi Bhavani Ma,
Devi Bhavani Ma, Jaya Devi Bhavani Ma,
Devi Bhavani Ma, Devi Bhavani Ma,
Devi Bhavani Ma, Jaya Devi Bhavani Ma.
Daya karo Devi Ma, Kripa karo Devi Ma,
Jaya Karo Devi Ma, Kripa Karo Devi Ma,
Daya karo Devi Ma, Kripa karo Devi Ma,
Daya Karo Devi Ma, Kripa Karo Devi Ma.
Jai Devi Bhavani Ma,
Jaya Ma, Jaya Devi Bhavani
Jai. So I was telling you about when you buy that whatever thing there and you put pepper, the person who likes pepper, he is really tasting more pepper. And if pepper is not there, that thing is bland. Even though all the ingredients are there, nice chana and bara and everything. Well, this is something which is true about human psychology. A thing may have 10 gunas, and out of the 10, you only seen one, or you only like one. All of us are like that. Eh? You don't have to apologize or anything. We are like that. A person goes and gets something, like for example, you go to buy a shirt, right? That is made of a certain type of material, right? That has a certain brand name. That thing has a certain color button, all of that. It may have so many things, but you buy that only because it's white. Or only because of one? Yeah. Because of one thing only. Sometimes you may buy it because of two, but you certainly don't buy it because of all the gunas. Usually human beings are not like that. We choose. We have to choose. Well, why I'm telling you all of this is, even though Ganga is a perfect blend of Bhakti and Gyan, Ganga is a perfect blend of Bhakti and Gyan, there are many people who only see Bhakti and there are many people who only see Gyan. So it depends on which tradition you come out from. So if you come from the Gyan tradition, we say Ganga is the flow of knowledge. From Bhagwan himself, Ganga is the flow of knowledge. And if you belong to the Bhakti tradition, you say Ganga is Rama Bhakti, Tulsidas is Rama Bhagati, Sura Sari Dhara. You see? He is Bhakti because Tulsidas belong to the Bhakti tradition. Bhagwan Shankaracharya, Ganga Jalalavi Kanika Pita, Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita, Sakrita Piyena Murari Samarcha. He tells Bhagavad Gita Kinchidathita, Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita, Sakrita Piyena Murari Samarcha, Tasya Yamenana Charcha. That person who sips only, different things are there, but this is our line. Who takes one sip of Ganga properly, that person will not have any discussion with Yamraj. Otherwise, all of us will have to have some discussion with Yamraj someday. You better prepare your speech. All of us have to prepare our speech, because one day we'll meet. You know who is Yamraj, right? Yamraj not any ordinary fellow, Easy to deal with. Yamraj is not so easy to deal with. So, the one sip, he says in that verse. One sip, that means what? Really, if we have one iota of proper Gyan, Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi, that is the end of Yamraj. That for that person, no more death. You see? Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita. One sip. So if you belong to that tradition, Gyan tradition, Aham Brahmasmi. If you belong to the Bhakti tradition, you know. Shri Ramchandra Kripalu Bhajman Aran Bhava Bhaya Darunam.
Shri Ramchandra Kripalu Bhajman Aran Bhava Bhaya Darunam.
Nava Kanjalochana Kanja Mukhakar Kanja Padakan Jarunam.
मुनि मनरञ्जनम्
मम हृदय कञ्ज निवास कुरु कामादिखलदल गञ्जनम्
रामचन्द्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भय दारुणम्
नव कञ्जलोचन
कञ्ज मुखधर कञ्ज पद कञ्जारुणम्
श्री राम जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम
श्यावर रामचंद्र की जय
Now please pay attention to this. This is a very important point. If I am one-sided, I only have Gyan, then that Gyan becomes very dry thing. And if I only have Bhakti, then that Bhakti becomes blind. That is a blind faith. Have you heard that? So we need a mixture of a nice blend of both. And that's why Ganga is so wonderful, because she represents the blend of both. And that is why Ganga merges with, you know what happened? Saraswati comes and meets in Prayag. Yamuna comes and meets in Prayag. And from there it is called Ganga only. They end. There is no Yamuna and no Saraswati after Prayag. And from Prayag to Bay of Bengal, which is the ocean, the whole thousands of kilometers still is only called Ganga. And that is why it is Ganga alone that merges with the ocean. Because Ganga is a perfect blend between Gyan and Bhakti. For us to merge with the ocean of consciousness, for us to merge with the supreme reality, limitless reality, we have to have a perfect blend of Bhakti and Gyan. We don't want to have just dry Gyan and blind faith, blind Bhakti only. We must have that nice mix. And that is why it is important that we find ourselves where we can have a nice mix of both. But what you can do is, if sometimes you buy your bara and chana separate and you come home and make it, isn't it? Some people do that also. They buy bara and chana separate. They just do that and go home and make. Well, you could collect your Gyan in one place and collect your Bhakti in some other place. But you have to make sure that you put the two together, because you don't want to eat bara day. You eat bara alone over there, and you come here, eat chana alone, and shake your belly. You want a nice mix. So, at some place you have to put them together. So you will get Bhakti in certain places and you will get Gyan in certain places. And in certain places you will get both. But you have to get both. Then only you will merge with that ocean. And see, merging with the ocean is what? Merging with Paramatma. Right? Merging with the ocean is merging with Paramatma. And where does Ganga originate? Paramatma only. And whereas Ganga, and symbolically I'm telling, merging with the ocean is merging with Paramatma. So you originate in Paramatma and merge back in Paramatma. Now, little bit of Vedanta before we end this whole Ganga thing. Little bit of Vedanta in all of this, right? Originating in Paramatma and merging back in Paramatma is not any physical emanating and physical returning. That is all Western philosophy thing. You came from somewhere and then you have to go back there, and not that, and all these things you get out from your mind. We never left Paramatma. Only thing is that we feel a separation, not that there is any separation. I am not separated from Paramatma because Paramatma is all pervasive. How you will be separate? But a fish could go in a restaurant and eat and go back in the sea, or what? How is that fellow going down the road and he tail like this, go in a restaurant, eat and go back? He can't leave. A fish could live and go. No. In the same way, we cannot leave Paramatma. So it is not any we left Paramatma somewhere and he crying and waiting. This is all children's stories, Paramatma is all pervasive. We are in Paramatma right now. It is just a matter of all of us unaware of our oneness with Paramatma. That is all. So when we say we came from Paramatma and we have to return to Paramatma, those are not to be taken in spatial terms. Spatial means he's in one space and we are in another space. Not like that. It means I am very much lodged in Paramatma, only I am unaware of my oneness. I am unaware of my oneness with Paramatma. And that happens, I tell you. A story. One fellow, he gone down the road and his friend tell him, he say, you ever try bhang? He said, no, I never try bhang. He said, take a drink, man. And he gave him a drink of bhang. Well, I don't know if you know what is bhang, but bhang is raw green ganja. They grind it up like that. Don't go home and make it now. I just don't. I just telling you what the thing is. They grind it like that, right? And they mix that thing with a nice, sweet, milky drink. Well, if you go down the road there and you take a drink of that, you're laughing going whole road home. Whole road home, you're laughing going. So anyway, he gone just down the street there and his friend gave him bhang. So they drink and think, two of them, and they come back home. By the time he reach home now, the effect now kick in. So he laugh and think. Because when you drink bhang, you laugh. So he laugh and don't ask me how I know it. So he laugh and thinking. After a little while, he started crying now. He laugh for a little while, then start crying now. So the friend asked him what happened. He said, I want to go home. I want to go home. His friend said, but you're home already? He said, no, I want to go home. His wife, all of them come from upstairs, everybody come down, but you're home. He said, no, I want to go home. But how you take the man home? The man already home. So no way to do. They take him in a bull cart. And they carry him for a spin from the first street and come back from the second street and they bring him back. And they tell him, yeah, look, you reach home now. He said, oh, thank you. All the time I tell him, I want to go home. All the time I tell him, I want to go home. And nobody taking me seriously. But what happened? They take him for a spin. By the time he come back, the effect way out. But all the time he was home. And if a person is home already, you can't take him home. What you could do? Take him for a spin. Well, really, we are already in Paramatma. All this thing we're doing, that is a spin. Everybody on a spin, you know. Because if you're already in Paramatma, how you can reach Paramatma? You get the point? But the spin work. Correct or not? That is the amazing thing about it. The ironic thing about it. The spin worked. So all of the spirituality like that only. To take us where we already are. Because Ganga emanates from Sagar, with the ocean, the Lord. And Ganga merges in Sagar. So that Desh is Dhanya, where this understanding is there. Where this understanding is there. In that Desh, that country, in that individual, that community, that civilization is Dhanya. That is the idea. Eh? Dhanya Desa so Jahas Surasari. Now, there is one more aspect with all of this that I want to deal with. And I started in the beginning talking about civilization. And imagine the magnanimity and magnitude of a civilization that divinizes a river. But it doesn't stop there. It is a civilization that divinizes the earth. A civilization that divinizes the forest. A civilization that divinizes the animal kingdom. And what an ironic thing that civilizations that never did that, today, they have to come and admit that we made a mistake. We didn't divinize the earth, we didn't divinize the rivers, the trees, the animals, the ecological system. And because we didn't divinize it, we slaughtered it. And because we slaughtered it, we are slowly slaughtering our own self. See the greatness of that civilization that divinized everything. And the whole humanity today has to now come to terms with such a big mistake that humanity made. Recently I had taken a group, BRG and a whole bunch of us, we had gone to South America. And the fellow was telling, you know, all that Amazon, huge Amazon jungle which is there, and so much of forest in South America. You know what he was telling? He was saying whatever is left in South America today, which we consider to be big forest, he said that is only 7% of what was there when the Europeans came. Only 7% is remaining, and we still consider it to be so big. He said it's only 7%. Imagine the magnitude of the destruction. What a colossal destruction in that part of the world. And we are doing it ourselves everywhere. The whole environment, everything is turning. Yesterday I saw on the news, houses washed away into the ocean by this storm and that storm. Every day we are seeing. So we have altered the whole global climate, and the whole thing now is coming back to haunt us. Correct or not? Because, why? We did not divinize the rivers and the mountains and the oceans, and we did not, Sagar. Sagar is venerated in the scriptures. We did not divinize. We have depleted, killed out all the oceanic creatures and all. Whale hunting. They killed big fish only for their fins. Turtles. How we have... So, Dhanya is blessed and fortunate is that nation that divinize its rivers, divinize its oceans and its forests. You see how important this Kota Chaupa is. Blessed and fortunate is that nation. All right. We'll see now. That is first Dhanya. We'll see tomorrow. Next Dhanya. And itahan no bandhanya. Tomorrow is this is our first night, which is supposed to be in the first street, but we have just opposite the first street, which is first street is right here only. Tomorrow in second street at Tara's and Evan's place. Bhajan starts at 6:30 p.m. for those who want to join in bhajan. Every night we'll be starting from the temple and walking to wherever the satsang is held. On the 2nd of October is the 25th, actual day for the 25th anniversary. So we'll have the function at the ashram on that day. 2nd, it falls in the middle of this yagna. So we'll have it in the ashram and then we'll resume here. So all of you please come to the ashram on 2nd. On the 16th of October, we have Diwali Dosa Day. DDD. Diwali Dosa Day. 16th of October. Now we have 3 new additions to dosa. One dosa is called as burrito dosa. That's Mexican. Another dosa is called as gunpowder dosa. That is explosive. That's South Indian dosa. And the last dosa is called as mother-in-law dosa. Not kachumba, mother-in-law dosa. Next year we'll have father-in-law dosa. So these are the 3 new additions in addition to what we call paneer dosa, genie dosa, masala dosa, doubles dosa, yes. You have to come and try a doubles dosa. So, some new additions. October 16th. Our Chinmaya Vidyalaya Sant Tulsidas campus is now inaugurated, and we are still accepting students for the new term, and also accepting students for A levels. What we call it CAPE. CAPE. Accepting students for CAPE also. All right. Please tell others also, and let them join this most premier institution for their educational needs. Now we will have Arati. Before Arati, any presentations? Okay. Andrew will take that.
We are the part of the program where we are recognizing people who have served the mission for the last 25 years and continuing. In the past, we recognized some members of the Chinmaya mission. Again, we are continuing today, and we want to recognize Ms. Sadafal and family. So, Ms. Sadafal, could you please?
Oh, Mrs. Sadafal is here. Oh my God. How are you? No, to go and put this. This is Chinmaya Mission show. And this is. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rafal. And we also have, we also recognize Kashi. Kashi has passed away, and we want to call on Nalini to receive the token. And the last person on the list, we have Miss Bola, who passed away, and she had received a token previously. And we'll be moving from street to street. We'll be recognizing people in the various streets. Thank you, and Hari Om.
Okay, Hari Om. For those of you who don't know, Mr. and Mrs. Sadafal, who are here, belong to this first street. So in all of those years when we used to have from street to street, we used to have it at their home only. So that's all right. We'll have Ramayana Arti and we'll finish. Since we are doing Ramayana. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की गावत ब्रह्मादिक मुनि नारद वाल्मीकि विज्ञान विशारद सुख सनकादिशेष अनुसारद बरनी पवन सुत कीरति नीति
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की
गावत वेद पुराण अष्टदश छौ शास्त्र सब ग्रंथन को रस मुनिजन धन संतन को सर्वस चार अंश सम्मत सबई की
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की
गावत संतत शंभु भवानी अर्घत संभव मुनि विज्ञान व्यास आदि कवि बर्ज बखानी काग भूषुन गरुड़
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति करे ललित सिया की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति करे ललित सिया की
कलिमल हरनि विषय रस फीकी सुभग सिंगार मुक्ति जुबती दलन रोग भव मूरियमी की तात मात सब विधि तुलसी की
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति करे ललित सिया की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति करे ललित सिया की
हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल
हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल
हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल
हरि
मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुडध्वजः मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्षं मंगलायतनो हरिः त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव ॐ पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति 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 हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम। बोलो सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय, जगदम्बा माता की जय, नमः पार्वती पते हर हर महादेव।
Hari Om. That's it. Please have a look at our bookstall on this side. There are many titles. And Glory to the Mother. There's a wonderful book on the Devi. Please see this. And then for children also, Mata, Mama and me. Hello.